Good morning, Karen from Quantum Heart Awakening. Today is going to be a full moon reading. So let's see where we go. It is a full moon in Aries and there is a theme around relationships. So let's see what comes out. Okay, Spirit, what is the collective confronting on this full moon? What is being hidden? What is being illuminated? Everybody take a deep breath. Anything else? Anything else? Okay, we have unfinished symphony in reverse. So this talks about completions, right? If it was in the upright, it would mean there's things that you haven't, you're not done dealing with, that there's more work to do. I swear these two cards come out together all the time. Anything else? Okay, then. Okay, interesting. Okay, so unfinished symphony in reverse. Let's start there because that's where we anchored the reading. So there's things that you may have to let go of. There are things that you have to intentionally and consciously wield your free will and discernment to close, right? We also have clean it up in reverse and the yin energy in the upright. Okay. Yeah, the really obvious message here there are some messes that you're not meant to clean up. Okay, really feel into what that is for you. So this themes of discernment, themes of letting go, themes of reclaiming self-love and being able to discern what is yours and what is other, right? This is really important. So tune into your feminine energy. I don't care what dominant energy you live in or as or with or flow through or whatever, but your feminine energy, your feminine archetype is going to be the one that carries you through this chapter, that carries you through. Why? Because the feminine holds the gnosis, right? You've heard me say this a million times, that the feminines are the portal who usher in new souls on the planet. We are like the bouncers at the club. We just confront the external world first, right? The wisdom comes through us first. It's just a matter of positioning. It's not that we're better than the masculines. It's not that anything, we're not extra magic, even though we are, but we hold the gnosis. So feminines and masculines, you're being called to lean on your feminine knowledge, your feminine truth, your feminine intuition, right? It's that intuition that will lead you towards appropriate discernment. Okay. Just feeling into what else is here. And it's super hot in my apartment, even though it's freezing out. Bear with me. I just had to crack a window so I don't pass out on the reading. Anything else, Spirit? Anything else you want to share? Okay, so again, I'm going to say the clean it up part again. There are certain situations, circumstances, confrontations, relationships. There are certain problems that you are not meant to clean up. Write that down somewhere to remind yourself to check in when you find yourself in the center of chaos or a mess, some sort of mess. Remember this moment. Remember to ask yourself, whoa, wait, is this my mess to clean up? The answer is most likely no, right? So often most of us, especially I think the feminine energies, are learning how to let go of people pleasing, learning to let go of being that kind of subordinate role, to being that subordinate role that does all of the unseen and hidden emotional labor, right? So many people, places, and things don't ask us to do these things, but naturally, just because of our skills and our gifts and maybe even how you were raised, a lot of feminines find themselves captaining a lot of different social scenarios or social issues that have really nothing to do with them other than they have the means and skills to support, help, fix, solve, whatever it is. So again, by doing this, this is another place you may be leaking your power to. Think about how you are showing up in your social dynamics. The other thing, and I want to say this to give context, but I don't mean this in a tit for tat way. So here's a really kind of a brief way to assess, the appropriateness of your involvement in something. So sometimes when we either consciously or unconsciously insert ourselves into a problem that may or may not be ours, sometimes we find we're taking on so much. And I have to ask this question, and I'm just posing it to shift the axis in which we show up in the world in those moments. So the question is, would this person, place, or thing support you in the way that you're supporting it? Would they show up for you the way you're showing up for them? I'm not saying that the world exists in an eye for an eye or a tit for tat. So much of the feminine mission is anchoring love in other flavors of chaos, and that includes the chaos that people can't control for themselves. So I'm trying to pave the road and speak into this very nuanced discernment. So I'm not saying never help someone who can't help you back. I'm not supporting that. I'm not promoting that sort of tit for tat engagement. However, sometimes just asking ourselves the question gives a little bit more color to the context in which we're showing up as. And I've been in situations where I'm like, whoa, not only would this person not support me the way I'm supporting them, they're actually harmful to my journey. So whoa, let me pull back and look at the reasons why I'm showing up. I'm a recovering people pleaser. I'm an empath. I'm a highly sensitive person. That is the unholy or holy trifecta of crossing boundaries, right? So that's something that I had to learn as a young child, of how to stand in the world suffering without being consumed by it, right? I always felt in the world, but not of the world, and learning how to gingerly navigate that path in a way that doesn't abandon or betray myself has been my life's work, right? I'm sure some of you can relate to that. So this question is really mainly to color the context, to just kind of wake yourself up a little bit and let's see, okay, if I'm bending over backwards for this person, place, or thing, are they capable of doing that for me? What is my role here? Is this a true blessing that you're gifting this person, place, or thing, that your involvement, are you truly giving and helping and supporting out of the kindness of your whole heart? Are you detaching from the outcome? Really start to ask yourself these questions, because we're also fine-tuning our own integrity, right? Constantly, my work with you is to invite you back to your own sovereignty, right? Invite you back to your own power. And most of that is going to be me leading you back to self, right? What do I always say? I always say we're determining what's on your side of the street, right? It's really easy to get caught up in the hubbub and the craziness and the chaos of other people's sides of the street, right? Sometimes we even unconsciously might choose to help someone else in avoidance of doing our own work, right? Okay. Whew, that was a lot. Okay. So again, there's going to be some situations that you're not meant to fix. It's so funny, because sometimes spirit comes into our life and blows everything up, and we spend all of our precious life force trying to fix it, when spirit's like, whoa, what are you doing? I just dismantled this for you. It was a gift. Why are you trying to fix it, right? Okay. I'm laughing at these cards that flew out when I was reading. Okay, so we have chaos and conflict in the upright, and fork in the road in reverse. Again, I mean, the messages are repeating now. This is quite literally a fork in the road regarding your own discernment, regarding your own self-worth. Can you love yourself enough to take up enough space to go at your own pace so that you can access wise discernment in any flavor of chaos? This is the name of the game. This is what we've been training for, right? This is what we've been training our inner compass for, to recognize when are we crossing our own boundaries, to wield our intuition and actually be able to drop it through the chakras and actually allow it to move through our body into the world, right? To take it from the realm of spirit, right? The wisdom is energy. That's energy. It drops into the crown, through the third eye, through the throat. So maybe you might speak the truth out into the world through the heart, through the lens of love, down into the solar plexus. That's where it gets the confidence, right? So when it goes out of the throat chakra, it's like, okay, I can speak this, but speaking and doing is a whole nother bag of tricks, right? It's a horse of another color. So when it drops down into the solar plexus, that's where it gets its razzle dazzle with all of that juicy confidence. That's when you gain the self-esteem and confidence to actually take action out in the world, to understand that by taking action, it affects your lower two chakras as well, right? After the heart chakra, meaning the lower chakras, those are the chakras that pertain to the realm of matter. Your self-esteem, how you show up in the world, your sacral, which is your creativity, your sensuality, sexuality, and then finally your root, which is your stability, right? Your firm foundation, your family of origin stuff, how you show up in the world, it pertaining to security, how safe do you feel in the world? It also has financial stability. It's all things stable. So when your third chakra is up and running and working in wonderful order, that is the let me think of this analogy. I'm trying to feel into. I was going to say that's the gas to make the engine go, and I'm feeling if that's true. I think that's true. It's the thing that will motivate this energetic idea, this spiritual concept, and anchor it in the realm of matter. Okay, so again, bringing it back to our message here, our core message. There are some things you're meant to let go of. This is accessing your wise discernment. Lean on your inner feminine knowing. Trust in the magnetic, juicy gnosis that your feminine has access to. There are situations you're meant to let go of that you're not meant to fix. You are not meant to fix these certain situations. This is a pivotal moment for you. This is a pivotal moment, the fork in the road. What will you choose? Will you choose self-esteem or will you choose other? Right? Will you choose to blend and merge with other people's conflict and chaos? Or will you hold your center for love in the chaos and be able to access your wise discernment? It's really interesting. Okay, I just happened to look down in the unconscious position, which is known as the shadow position. It's what we're pushing into the shadows, quite literally, is this loyal heart. Okay, let me shake it out. Hold on. This is intense. It's a 35 card. So, which reduces to an 8, which is the infinity symbol, right? So this means these are hard patterns to break. These are patterns that have been with us for maybe possibly lifetimes. So the loyal heart card is telling me that there's some of you that are struggling to choose self in other people's flavor of chaos. So I would let go of all the other work I just said and focus on this. Focus on what you need in order to allow your heart to let go of these people, places, and things with love, to detach. Some of you are putting this concept of loyalty over actual sovereignty, over actual discernment, right? Sometimes we're loyal because we've always been loyal, which doesn't mean it's the right choice. It just means this is the hand we got dealt and we thought we were meant to attach to it for the rest of our lives, right? An example of this is sometimes we think just because people are family, we're meant to be loyal to them forever, even when they are abusive, even when they are causing conflict and chaos in our lives, even when they're making our lives more difficult, even maybe when they're abusing us or taking advantage or traumatizing us in some way. We think, oh, maybe because they're family, I'm just meant to, doesn't matter how badly they harm me, I'm meant to continue to show up for them. Well, this is the hard work. This is like you're in the trenches doing the work, confronting self. Your job is to do what you need to do. Remove yourself from the situations you need to remove yourself from. Get the support you need in order to break these bonds. Okay, so I've never actually read this card this way. Let me see if I could show it to you. Let me try to focus on it. Okay. Do you see these two owls, these two crowned owls, and they're looking back at each other? So for those of you that are listening, this could be the hardest work you've ever done, because you might feel that turning your back on family or a beloved or fill in the blank, whoever this is, or a job that you gave 20 years, 30 years to, you may feel that you're turning your back on yourself, right? Look at this mirrored image, right? These two owls looking back at each other. And of course, that adds such a component of suffering when you feel like you're turning your back on a part of yourself. But the irony is that by being faithful and loyal to something that is harmful to you, you actually are turning your back on your actual self, not the perception of external self, not the perception of the thing that you aligned yourself with, whether it be family, a job, a partner, a beloved, whatever. Your job is to call your spirit back from places it doesn't belong and access your original loyalty. So that's loyalty to the quantum field, to spirit, to source, to God, whatever you want to call it. And that's loyalty to self. Those are your primary relationships in this work, right? To look up and to look in. You've heard me say that. Look up and look in. And then everything else after that, all other relationships are tertiary and beyond, right? So you are meant to call your spirit back and call your discernment back, right? To discern actually, oh, I gave 40 years to this job. It's no longer, I did my part. I no longer have to blend with it, right? Because when you are so blended with an external thing or an external identity or a person, you are investing your power, your energetic circuits into that thing. And that's another way of leaking power out in the world. So then here's another way to test yourself. If this thing, person, place, or thing disappeared tomorrow, your job, your role as a teacher, your whatever the thing you aligned yourself with, your husband, your wife, your partner, even your ability to like even a gift or a talent. If you've been a concert pianist your whole life, and then you're aging, and then you get like arthritis or something, and you can no longer perform. If you've invested all of your energetic circuits into that identity as a pianist, what will you be left with when you can no longer do that thing? If you've invested yourself as someone's partner, if they leave your life, if they pass away, if they want to divorce you, if they want to leave you, what will you be left with, right? Call your spirit back. What do I mean when I'm actually saying that? Call all of your worthiness, your self-esteem back to you. Allow all of that self-esteem come back home, right? Don't fix them, fix self, right? Well, there's nothing to fix. Let me rephrase that. It's like you're not doing this work on anyone else's side of the street. You're focused on what's showing up on your side of the street. Michael Singer, the famous author who wrote The Untethered Soul and The Surrender Experiment, he's one of my mentors. He really taught me how to like call my spirit back and kind of all those wonderful meditation skills that he has. He says this thing that triggered the crap out of me for about, I'm going to go with like 10 years. It still today holds a strong vibration, but I've integrated and embodied it, and it's a kicker. He said that you should be able to be with the love of your life for 40 years. And if that beloved comes to you one day and says they want to leave, you must be able to lovingly help them pack their bags. This little snippet kicked my ass for a very long time. It used to trigger me. I used to get so activated. And now I realized that he's saying that we must be so whole and so grounded in the present moment that we are we are never lacking, right? We're not getting anything from the external world. We are so filled up and complete from our own resources, right? From the internal wellspring of wisdom and knowledge, that we don't need anything from anyone. So if your beloved comes to you and says they want to leave, you are happy for them. You want to support them because you do love them. Okay, if you're not happy, I want your happiness as much as I want my own happiness. And if this relationship or circumstance is no longer making you happy, then I release you with love. That is not a amateur move, right? That is some high level surrender and detachment. But I always share that story because it really sets the bar really freaking high and always shows me my North Star of like, okay, that's where I'm meant to go. Even if I can't access that now, even if I am attached, even if I don't want relationships to end or jobs to end or whatever it is, I know where I'm going, right? Even if I'm not there yet. Okay, beautiful. So you are reclaiming loyalty to self and to your divine beloved, to Christ consciousness, to the quantum field, whatever you want to call it. Okay, let's see. That was a lot. Let's see where we go. Where do we want to go? Where? Let's do some of these angel cards. I haven't used these in a long time. Okay, Spirit, anything else? Anything else for this full moon? All right, we have a lot of cards. Let's see. We have direction and timing in reverse. We have lucid dreaming, awareness, and opportunities in reverse. We have amethyst, psychic abilities, and behavior patterns. So here's the thing. I'll just go on a quick little rant. Here's the thing about yin energy. The psychic abilities, when you really are in that kind of purity and sincerity, I dare to say that everyone has some sort of psychic ability. It's just, have we tuned it, right? And then we have school, lessons, we have fire, transmutation, and purification in reverse. Okay. Yeah, this makes a lot of sense to me. Let me check the unconscious really quickly. If I could pick up the deck. Let's see what we got. Dancing, self-expression, and movement. All right, I'll leave that for later. So again, we're in this place where we are, hold on. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me just ask a self-care question. Like, this is like a whole nother reading. I'm not going to go into so much of it, but it's leading me to this. What do you need what would support you in making these difficult decisions? What would support you? Would having a buddy to do this with, would hiring a coach or going to a therapist, confiding in a friend who's on a similar path than you. I've now gotten so into my own, I've been working so much in my own consciousness for so long that I have really niche, beautiful friends who are also doing this work, and we think tank problems together. We help each other, dismantle our shadows, our blocks, our dreams. We help each other confronting new situations, right? Because with every new evolution of ascension, you are now being challenged to confront things you haven't confronted before. And so now that I have my crew of friends that we could do this together, I'm now being confronted with so much more because I have a team that anchors me, right? So maybe you're meant to connect with community. There's something here that, hold on. You're being asked to break patterns, right? So much of this path, this ascension path, this path of illumination, this path of enlightenment, whatever you want to call it, mainly it's rooted in breaking patterns of our own behaviors, right? So learning the lessons, falling down and getting back up enough times that you understand, I fell there. I tripped on that again. Okay, let me reevaluate how I approach these situations, right? There's something massive here around doing what you need to do, taking care of self enough so that you can step into this transmutation, right? This is transmutation, trial by fire. Like literally, we have this fiery card right here. I'm going to put it right here. This is the purification. And what do? What does Rumi always say we do? We burn until there's nothing left but love. And that's a very difficult thing to do, because what's actually burning when that's happening? It's all of the ego's attachments, right? If your ego was attached to a certain way of looking, being, a certain status, a certain amount of money in the bank, a certain job, a certain partner, and you now no longer have those things, your ego is going to be in turmoil. Your job is to call your spirit back to what's truth, what is truly important here, right? And that's love. Can you love yourself enough in this flavor of chaos? Okay. Let's see what else. Let's get some ancestor cards. Wow. Really intense full moon reading. All right, Spirit, anything else? Anything else you want to share? My throat's also totally drying up. All right, let me just take a sip before I read those. All right, let's see what we got. What does that say? Sky Father, trust in the unknown. Listen, it is completely understandable if you're struggling with your faith. If you're struggling when it's really easy when you're suffering to struggle with your faith. I'm not even worried about this. There's nothing to do here other than survive your adversity. Trust in the unknown. Surrendering to the mystery is a very high level spiritual ability. It's very difficult to surrender, right? Because we've been raised our whole lives and our ego has spent years and years trying to control everything around us to make us feel safe, to make us feel worthy, to make us feel like valued in some way. But most of what the work the ego has done has been attaching to false self-esteem, right? It's not real. If it goes away tomorrow, you'll be left in shambles, right? So we want to attach self-esteem to things that are stable, to things that are not illusions. Then we have Stargazer, set your sights higher. Yeah, that's a really interesting combo. I've never had those cards come out together. So in order to be able to set yourself on higher sights, it's almost like what I said earlier. When you develop a new skill, you better believe that the universe is going to test you. It's going to ask you to flex that skill in order to anchor it, in order to see how embodied you are. So you are going to be almost backed into a corner and need to trust in the unknown, trust in the mystery. Yeah, we have a dream and journey card, and then we have She-Wolf, unleash the wild within. Let me see what's in the unconscious. We have Traveler, move in a new direction. Yeah. I mean, this is kind of in alignment with everything we're saying. You're called to break a pattern. You're called to act in a way that you've never acted before, to move in ways that are not accustomed to you. This is also a concept of radical discontinuity. This might help some of you to get your brain, to get your neurology to start getting comfortable in the discomfort. So what does that actually look like in 3D? How can you train your neurology in this way? Well, radical discontinuity is a concept of doing things you would never normally do, or doing things in a way you would not normally do them, and start really small. I always give the example of, if you brush your teeth with your right hand, start brushing your teeth with your left hand. If you talk on the phone in your right ear, try talking on the phone in your left ear. If you put on your pants, right leg first, and then left leg, start left leg first, and then do right leg. These might sound small and insignificant, but what you're doing is you're slowly acclimating your brain. You're repatterning your neurological pathways to be a little uncomfortable and to feel safe being uncomfortable. If you never go outside in the rain, maybe get up randomly and go out and just dance in the rain. I'm trying to think of other ones. If you've never asked someone out, go ask someone out. Or a big one, if you've never sat alone at a restaurant or a bar, go sit alone and have a meal, enjoy yourself. That's a tough one for people. If you've never gone to the movies during the day, go to a matinee. Like, just try to invite yourself to start doing things you wouldn't normally do. Maybe you take a different route to work. Maybe like, one of my favorite things was when my mom like randomly would pull me out of school and we would go do something fun. That was like the most exciting day for a kid. It was like, I couldn't believe it was happening, and I was so excited. And it's like, you don't know what's going to happen. You're not in school. Anything can happen. Like, literally any adventure can take place, and it just completely reset, it completely scrambled my little kid brain, and I was just nothing but excited, right? So we're looking for that feeling as an adult. We're looking to create those moments of radical discontinuity, and that will slowly help get you comfortable with the discomfort in micro ways, so that when you finally have a heavy hitter discomfort moment, maybe it's having a tough conversation, maybe it's breaking up with someone, maybe it's drawing boundaries with your family, that these things will feel just that much more comfortable in that discomfort. Okay, I think I'm going to leave it there. Let me see. I'm going to pull one feminine Buddha wisdom. Okay. I mean, I can't make this up. It says, don't let worldly temptations lead you astray. This is going back to the ego stuff, right? Your ego has developed a certain perspective of what it needs to feel safe, to feel powerful. Do not let those things lead you astray. Okay, happy full moon. I hope this was supportive. I will see you in the next one.